Guys, so this is a very important video. I'm going to cover the editor interface. So you have downloaded the client, you have adjusted your display settings, you have started to get your captures, and then you click done, and you are now here at the editor. I'm going to go over the general interface and some tips and some general applications along the way. I'll try to be concise. So you're going to start out here on the Home tab. You don't need to know very many buttons and functions. I'm just going to cover what I believe you need to know based on my experience. First off is spell check. I'm going to need spell check. Now you can come to this home tab and click spell check every time, or you could right click and add it to your quick access toolbar, which appears right up here. You can also kind of, you can move that below the ribbon. Doesn't really matter. I put stuff there because I can click the Alt button and it gives it a number, which functions as a hotkey. So now spell check is Alt 1. So I can quickly do that. Insert tab. Steps from recording is really it. So right here, you see the clicks that I have captured. Say between clicks 3 and 4, I forgot something. I can click steps from recording, get a few more captures, like a few more clicks, and then click done, and it will sandwich them back in there. Note, this is just, you have two types of notes, highlighted and regular note. A highlighted will give a little box. So you can do a little FYI and then really kind of draw a box around what you're referring to, maybe a whole section or button or whatever. You can also do just a note. I have no tail on this one. You can adjust that by right-clicking, edit note, format, and then changing the tail or no tail. You can also do general and change your icon here. You can also hide it from the document view. So say an FYI or a note is needed in the simulation, but not in the document view being tip sheet view, you can uncheck that here. I'm going to leave it because I want you to see it when I go over to the document view. Really, probably nothing else. You're not going to want to change style and stuff like that because that's supposed to be set by, the leadership. These are your actions. I don't mess with tooltips usually, but actions. So say that for whatever reason you had to say that like you got a capture like right here, and it was to enter text, but it turned out to be a click or vice versa. I was like, well, I got the screenshot, but it's not the right action. Practical application of that is to do this. I'm going to click the step. I'm going to Control C to copy, Control V to paste. I now have a duplicate. Say that this is where I needed them to click into a search field, and this is where I needed them to type into the search field. But for whatever reason, I did not capture both of those clicks appropriately. I could leave the click action here on step 1 and add the type option or action here on step 2. To do that, there's if you have to enter a click, so mouse, left click or double click or shift click or whatever, and it will create another one of these boxes, or edit, which is typing essentially. I don't see why they didn't just change that to type. Entry type, free text or exact. I'm going to put exact, and they have to exactly type this. You can make that case sensitive or not, and then OK. And there it is. So they will have to, they'll automatically appear in the box. A cursor will appear in this box, and then they have to type this. And this is the default language for that. Enter. Example, this. I don't like that. You'll always have to go in and change what's in the boxes. It doesn't know what you want. So I like to do stuff like, this. Or if it's not case sensitive, but if it is case sensitive, make sure to put the exact thing right here. And then you have to decide if they need to press enter or not as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete that whole little step right there. So that is, inserting mouse actions, typing actions, key press. Now they need to press escape or enter or whatever. And you can press like E, 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 whatever to get to your ones like a C or capital or A for alt or whatever. You can search through that a little bit and then determine what happens when they press that button or they click that whatever or they type into whatever. Drag and drops are weird. I have an example right here of a drag and drop. That's actually not what it looks like by default. I edited this. What it looks like is by default, it will say drag and drop or click and whatever, and then it would have these two big ugly images of whatever's inside these boxes. So it would have just been like, click big purple box and drag to big purple box if it looked like this. So I delete all that and I say scroll down to see blank. Pretend there's a toolbar there or a scroll bar there. Scroll bar. I just move it there, and so then the user has to drag it down like that. I know that doesn't make much sense, but it's because I have already edited this a few times because the stream recorder messed up, and so everything's kind of messing up on me today. Let's see what else. Let's keep going through the interface. Translations tab, forget about it. View, forget about it. Now you have your different modes. You have simulation and document. I'm not going to go over screen flow. So simulation is what the user is clicking through. So this is exactly how it appears for them. You may also want to have the preview simulation saved as well. I kind of put it on the tail end, or you can put it on the front end, whatever. But this will allow you to click through your training. So a few things about this. When I first got this capture, it was like over here. So you just got to move it over there. Make sure that the whole button or the whole whatever is in the hotspot. They'll see the box. Uh, click Uperform. This is what it says by default, but I may want it to say something else, like click the Uperform icon. The note, I just typed in something random here. Now, what will text to speech? What will it say? By default, it will only say the step text, but you can right click, edit step, go to audio, and decide what you wanted to say in the audio source. By default, it's going to do the transcript followed by the step text. So whatever's in this box followed by whatever in that box, which is also right over here in the menu, or whatever you want to call that panel. If you want to do something different, like click the Uperform app, you can then say, well, I only want it to say this. I don't want it to say that. I don't want it to say that. You just change the audio source to transcript only. If you wanted to read like your step text and then your note, or your note, your step text, well, it's not going to read notes. You can't tell it to read a note. You can copy and paste what's in the note into the transcript. And then decide, hey, transcript, then step text, or step text, then transcript, or only this one or only that one. That's what you're doing in audio source right here. So I'm just going to do transcript for this, and then I can test what that sounds like by clicking the play button. It's going to wait just a second. It said like Uperform app. So this is a good example of if I wanted it to say click Uperform, click Uperform, it's going to say perform. So I have to correct that. Uperform app. Got to spell it phonetically, and then you can test it again. Click the Uperform app. Done. And then if I wanted to read the note, I had to type in the note as well. And it's just an enunciation thing now. Screen. So say that I wanted to, I'm going to click OK. Please enter a screen title. I'm not going to do that. Click OK. Why do I have to enter a screen title? Desktop. Sure. Screen title was just like, it already had it. So maybe I accidentally deleted it just now. I don't know. If you want to change the screenshot, you go to right click, edit step, screen, and then here's the thing. You say you wanted to bring this back and edit it, and let me see where I'm at on time here. 5 minutes 45. Okay. Say that you needed to edit this screenshot. Then you would copy, take that over into Snagit, edit it, and then copy it, and then come back and paste it. Editing doesn't do anything. Editing just shows you again. These options don't do anything. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. For UPMC, it will not. Let's see. That's really it for that. Let's see if I can give you any other practical explanations. All right. So here, I think I did get something here. Cool. So I got a quick click, but then I hovered for a little bit and got the click there. And as you can see, it caught the help text. So this is a good example of where either you're going to go to insert step from recording and go recapture that without the help text, or you're going to right click edit step screen. Then maybe you just like get a screen capture without the help text, copy, and then paste, and that will paste over this image. Let's see. I believe I went over the differences between a note and a highlighted note. Note is just, no box. Highlighted note is with a box. And by the way, that appears differently in the document view. So I'm going to go over to the document view and show you what's going on there. First off, like I showed in the display settings video, you got to get the correct resolution when you're getting captures, because as you see, this box is over the Uperform app, but over in the document view, it is over the recycling bin, and you cannot edit that from here. So it's weird. First thing you want to do in document view, though, is update your overview, because this will appear, it appears right there. It doesn't appear on the management library, but it will appear there. So let me check on time. 4 minutes. Cool. Now, you're going to see the picture of what to do and then the instructions of what to do. And if you have little notes, then that appears there as well. See, where it says click Uperform, and this is something different. That doesn't appear for some reason. Why does that note not appear? Because I may have right-clicked and edit note, and nope, see, it's just not updating for some reason. So it's glitching out. But if I really did want to hide this note from the document view for whatever, or from the simulation view, I can uncheck or check these boxes. So that's a very niche application of what to do there. Now here you can do some inserting page breaks, lines, tables, pictures, whatever, but not in the simulation view. And then I don't believe if you inserted any of this stuff, does it cross over into the simulation view. So let's see anything. So you can edit this text here, and it will edit the text in the simulation view. Not really much to add here. This is where, I don't know why, look how far off this is. This is something to do with resolution and display settings when the button click is this far off. Although it's okay in the simulation, step 4, see there's the scroll. It may have been that one. But as you can see, these are in appropriate spots. Meanwhile, over here, it is step 5 or whatever it is, way off. Let me see. Yeah, see, the scroll is way out of picture. So again, display settings are important. The last thing I want to say is when you get to the end of the simulation, I'm going to go to simulation, go to the last one, end of simulation. It will simply say end of simulation, and it sounds horrible. I like to put something like thanks for watching in the transcript and then just change it to transcript. I also like to go to the first slide and put something in the note like welcome. This, simulation will cover whatever. And then I don't include that note in the document view. I want the speech to text to say something introductory, and then also you'd be able to read it, but I'm not going to need that in the document view because I already have a default intro right there. Okay, that was a whole bunch. Watch that video 10 times before asking me any questions, and I hope it helps.